Well, welcome back again. We're together again to talk about fishing. And again, tonight we're doing one of those seminars that makes you a better fisherman, but also kind of challenges the way you're doing things and kind of makes you think a little better and gets you more primed to become a fisherman instead of someone who goes fishing. Tonight we're going to talk about the 5 P's to catching more fish. Fairly quick seminar, but there's lots of neat things in here that you need to pay attention to and kind of understand how the whole process works of becoming a better angler. You know, like we talked about in our 8 Steps DVD, as I moved up the ladder and became a competitive fisherman, I started trying to talk to guys who were consistently catching fish, be it the good charter captains or be it tournament guys that were constantly taking my money. And again, one of the things that came through every time I talked to them was, you know, how are you always catching fish? It always came back to planning, making good decisions, having data, being able to analyze that data. So 20 years ago when we started Walleye 101, we needed a way to kind of teach all this and trying to put it together in a way that we can present to guys like you and get you to the point where you're catching more fish. So the 5 P's for catching more fish: pay attention, get your notebooks out. There's lots of really good information here to make you a better angler. So I started doing this seminar kind of thinking about, you know, we need to talk about this process of being a better angler, both off the water and on the water. How does it all work? So I started asking guys at seminars. I go, hey, you know, before you go fish, you know, what are you worried about? Give me the top 3 things you think about before you go fishing. And you know, guys talked about, you know, man, I got new lures. I like new lures, new colors. If it's new, no one else has got it. I got a chance to catch some fish. You know, fishing line became a big deal when fluorocarbon came out. Man, I really think that invisible fishing line makes a difference. Or I use a leader when I fish the Detroit River, or whatever the case may be. You know, invisible fishing line was a big deal. Fish scent, I get this all the time. You know, what do you think about fish scents? That's another subject for another day. My personal feeling in general, you'll never catch less fish with it, but fish aren't going to swim 15 feet to get your bait because it smells good. So if you believe it, okay. The newest electronics. Now, obviously, we preach good electronics, but you don't need to buy the latest and greatest every time, right? Upgrade your electronics every 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You've got good enough stuff. Just make sure you've got good electronics. You know, expensive rods and reels. You know, there are places that good rods make a difference, but most of the time, your equipment has nothing to do with how many fish you're catching. And this is my favorite. You know, private high. I got a spot I can't tell anybody about. I got a rock pile nobody knows about. I guarantee you, number 1, people know about it. Number 2, stop worrying about private spots. Because what happens when you go to your super duper secret hot spot and the fish aren't there, the fish aren't biting. Now you're kind of messed up and your mind's scattered. They aren't biting, or you got to figure out where the fish are. So all this stuff is what guys told me they liked to worry about. And I look at all that and go, you know what? None of that, absolutely none of that is important. So what should you worry about? What should you be thinking about before, during, and after your fishing day to help you catch more fish? Pretty simple. A systematic plan of fishing, a way to kind of plan your day, make a game plan, go on the water, do some things, see if they work or don't work, analyze that data, and then make changes. A systematic plan of fishing. Keeping what is important top priority. We'll talk about that in a second. Paying attention to detail. This is something that I see a lot on my charters. We'll catch 2 or 3 fish in a row, and I'll turn to my customer and go, okay, what do those 3 fish have in common? And they'll kind of look at me with a blank look and go, they're all walleye? No, we all caught them all on the outside turn. Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to what's going on. I am a true believer in this, keeping good, detailed fishing records, even if you have a bad day of fishing. I'll talk about records in detail a little bit later. And then when you make decisions on the water, make them on fact, not on feeling. You know, if you open the box and go, I don't know, Uncle Joe gave me this lure, and you put that on, you probably don't have the right lure on. Making decisions based on facts, not feeling. All those things together are going to make you a better fisherman. Our mantra at Walleye 101, we say this 1,000 times a week, it seems like, during seminar season. How do you catch more fish? You spend more time fishing properly where there are catchable fish. Cannot stress this enough, guys. You can't catch them where they aren't. And you're not just looking for fish, you're looking for catchable fish. Fish that want to bite, fish that are active and aggressive. If you do that, your chance of success is going to go way up. Fish that want to bite are easy to catch. Fish that don't want to bite are hard. I'm not a good enough fisherman to catch fish that don't want to bite. I've got to find catch for what we call stupid fish, then we can start catching them. So pay attention to this. You can catch some of this stuff in some of our other DVDs, but find catchable fish. You're going to catch a lot more. All right, so what are the 5 P's? Let's get into the meat of tonight. They are pretty simple. Preparation, planning, perception, pattern fishing, and then preserving the information. Now, those probably all would be better under a different name, but the 5 P's kind of, for whatever reason, rang a bell to me. So that's it. Preparation, planning, perception, pattern fishing, and then preserving the information you gather when you're on the water. Those are the 5 steps to catching more fish.